Hi there, Lindsay here, the Frugal Crafter. Today I want to share a holiday gift guide with you. I know it's only October, but there has been a lot of really nice deals on art supplies, so I thought it'd probably be better to be early rather than late. Often when you get to around Thanksgiving, you tend to see prices get jacked up, or they jack it up so they can put it on sale and it's not as good as the prices that you could have got a couple months ago. So what I have chosen here for Holiday Gift Guide 2022 is some things that I have recently found to be a good deal, good value, high performing products across a bunch of different price points. So if you are shopping for the artist in your life, or maybe you're an artist and you would like to point your loved ones in a direction, or maybe get an idea of, like, you know, they ask you, what do you want for Christmas? You can give them a couple ideas of things you might want to try. Some of these products were in last year's gift guide, but I have a bunch of new ones. I did notice a lot of people were watching last year's gift guide recently, so I just wanted to put this updated version so that so you can see what else I recommend, or what I might recommend over some of the things I recommended last year. Although I think all the things I recommended last year were pretty good. I'm going in no particular order, but I will kind of go by categories. And I'm going to keep this pretty brief because, I mean, there's so many things. So I just tried to pick out what I think were the best quality for money at this time. Of course, I'm in America, so you may have different prices in whatever country you're in. But if you're in America, these should be pretty good. Pretty good ideas, I think. So in no particular order, I'm going to start off with a product that I've been very excited to use over the past couple of weeks, and they are the Sanjoki alcohol markers. And there's a couple of reasons I really like this set. One is that it comes in a beautiful carrying case with a strap, so really easy to bring along with you. The price, at the time I'm filming this, it's $43 and change for 120 markers. They have brush tips. Let's just undo the buckle. You got a buckle and a Velcro, so you don't have to worry about this falling over and markers going everywhere. They stay in order, so once you put them in the order that you want, there's like a little grid in the bottom that keeps them in order. You can actually also undo the Velcros on the side if you want to, and just have the little stands having them out. It comes with a 20-sheet marker pad. And let's see, do I have that pad handy? Yes, I do. I'll show you. I did an artwork on the pad. The marker paper is fine. It's not my favorite paper in the world, but it definitely will get you started and is decent. And you get a swatch to color in, which I recommend you always color in your swatches. It's just on cardstock, kind of. And you get a little brochure about the markers with their, you know, customer service info. And there's also a plastic sleeve that you can, or a plastic sheet that you can put in your sketchbook or coloring page in between pages when you're coloring, so it doesn't bleed onto the following page in your book. I don't think you can beat it for this price. The tips are pretty flexible. They are more flexible than the Ohuhu and Arctic markers, if you have those, just for comparison. Very juicy, and they're just wonderful. I've been using them for a lot of different projects. Like, well, I used them for this, and I use them for this project here. Let's see, can you see that without too much glare? On toned paper. And I also use them on a project in here, so I'll show you that. But they definitely perform just as well as any of the other popular alcohol markers, but they are a heck of a lot cheaper. So if you're curious about alcohol markers yourself, you know, you want to try them, or you've got a child or grandchild that really wants Copics, I would consider these, because for $40 you would maybe end up with 9 Copic markers, and for $40 you can get 120, well, 43 and change, but you know what I mean. So it's 12 times the markers you can get for the same price if you go with these. And I've been using them for a couple weeks and I have no qualms with them whatsoever. They are very, very nice. And I love the case, and it's a great size. It's not too many markers to get overwhelmed by, and it's not too few that you can't do the blends that you want to do. If you want to go above and beyond and you want to get that wow gift, without spending the thousands of dollars you need to get the full set of Copic markers, Ohuhu is coming out on November 2nd with a set of 320 brush markers. They came out with the 320 chisel and bullet markers last fall, and they have now done the line in the brush markers. I'm just going to stand up with that so you can kind of see what you got there. These are your Ohuhu markers. They're not quite as juicy as the Sanjoki, but if you've been using Ohuhu for any amount of time, you know what they're all about. They also have the reversible nibs, so if one nib end starts to fray, you can pull it out and put it back in for the brush end. It's a good arrangement of colors. It comes with a swatch card to fill out. And it comes with customer service information, so if you're missing a marker or you have a dry marker, you can contact them. It comes with a sheet as well and a carrying case. These are not, at the time of filming, these have not hit the store yet, so I have no idea what they're selling them for. Generally, their markers go for about 80 cents a piece in sets, so I would expect this to be around $200, $230, but it is a massive amount of markers. A lot of the colors are kind of similar, so if you do run out of one, you'll have another one that you can replace it with, and I'm sure any marker colorist in your life would be pretty thrilled to get that humongous set of markers. Value-wise, though, I would say go with a Sanjoki. It's just a better bang for your buck, unless, you know, you just want to really knock someone's socks off with a humongous amount of markers. Next up, in no particular order, I've got some papers to recommend. The first one I'm going to recommend, and this is kind of a budget pick actually, are the Strathmore Visual Journals. I love this size, I love the quality of the paper, and it comes in a bunch of different varieties. I think the best price on these are probably going to be Blick Art Materials, and you can get these in 9x12 or the 5.5 by 8.5. I believe that's what size. 5.5 by 8. This is Bristol Smooth, so it's a great one for markers. You can also get watercolor paper, mixed media paper, a variety of different papers. So they tend to be your heavier papers done for like art journaling and whatnot, and they're spiral bound, so they lay completely flat. This one is one I just kind of practice. I'll stamp stuff and I'll just color it just for marker testing and stuff, so there's nothing to really write home about in my journal, but you can see how flat that goes. I've used the 140-pound watercolor visual journal, and I like that a lot too, the cold press. I think they also offer a hot press. I've used the mixed media. That one's really nice too. You really can't go wrong with these. The price is great. I think it's under $7 for the smaller size, and the larger size is like maybe $10 or $12 on Blick. It's a lot more in store, unless you get one of those deals where it's like buy one get one free at Michael's or something. But you can find these a lot of places. You can find them on Amazon. You can find them on Blick. You can find them. You can find them at Michael's. AC Moore used to, I think I got mine at AC Moore. They used to carry all of those, but pretty easy to find and a nice, good quality. Don't really have to worry about buying any of these. They're going to be fine. I would avoid the yellow covered Strathmore papers, so you specifically want to look for these visual journals. For whatever reason, the paper in these is a lot better than the yellow covered paper, watercolor paper that they sell. I'm not sure what series this is. It's either 400 or 500 series, I think. But it's nice. I've had really good luck with these, and you can't really beat it for the price. Now, if you want to spend a little bit more, or maybe quite a bit more, on a journal for somebody, I would recommend a handmade journal. Now, there are many people on Etsy that sell these. My friend Rosie makes some of these Copic bound journals, and they're with Arches watercolor paper. I just really love her journals, and I've been using them for a while. You can paint on both sides. They're just such great quality, and yeah, I will leave a link to her shop. Or if you are crafty, you could always learn how to make your own. If you want to do, if you do bookbinding or you want to learn, you could buy some sheets, big sheets of watercolor paper and make your own, and that would be such a wonderful gift. And you've got to invest your time, but it would be fairly affordable if you did it that way. Or you can pay an expert to do it. I've never done this binding before. It looks great. I don't think I have the patience for it, and it's a wonderful journal. Along that same line, something I've been enjoying a lot, and this is a product that I think came out, the first version of it came out this spring, or the spring we had a few months ago, 6 months ago. And now they're up to a new version of it, and this new version is what I want to recommend, and this is the Viviva Travel Art Kit. Now this is the Inktober branded one. Those I don't believe are available anymore, and they were a little bit more expensive because they donated to a charity when you bought them. But they do have the regular Viviva. Actually, I think some of the proceeds go to charitable organizations anyway. But there was a specific thing they did with Inktober. I can't remember it. But they've changed. They used to have these 3 slots here on this side of the folio, but they've changed it so you have a bigger pocket now. And at first, when I first used this, I was like, oh, it doesn't want to close. But it does stretch out a little bit as you use it, and it closes fine. So in the pocket, I'm keeping a pencil, my Viviva color sheets, a bunch of like watercolored pages here so I could work on them when I have time. You can keep all sorts of little notes in there. You could keep an eraser. You could keep even a thicker watercolor palette in there if you wanted to. At first, it might not want to catch, the magnet might want to catch, but it does stretch. They sell refills of the notepads in there, so you'll get a sketchbook with it, and I believe the color sheets with it, and then you can add on, you get a water brush and a Zig waterproof pen. So I really like this. This was one of those ones where I thought, oh, that's kind of a gimmick, but this has kind of saved my bacon on a lot of these Inktober days where I've been too busy to like sit down at my desk, and I've kind of just got this with me on the go wherever I am, and I'm working in it. The paper I really like, but it does have its fallbacks. The paper is a watercolor. I would say it's a mixed media paper actually. It does really well with the wet media, but it does not erase well. So I might take the pencil right out of here because I find that erasing on this paper is a little bit of a challenge. But it's funny because, or taping, you can't tape on the paper, it will rip. But as far as like painting on it, the paint doesn't feather, the ink doesn't feather, so I'm not exactly sure why tape and erasing tends to abrade it a bit, but overall, I'm really enjoying this kit. And this is, make sure you get the one with the pocket rather than the slots. The only downside to that is because it's not so tight, you may like have it upside down in your bag and have something slide out of it. But I don't think it's too big of a deal, but just want to let you know, I find this to be just a really fun, a fun product, and I really like it. And it gives me everything I need to do a quick sketch on the go. So I keep it in my car generally, but there you go. That's my recommendation. I wouldn't say it's a really expensive product, but it's not a budget project either. It's kind of in the middle for, you know, the artist that might want to be able to do some art on the go. So this is my shameless plug here. If you have a watercolor artist in your life who wants some nice paintbrushes, I have a set of paintbrushes through Craft Ammo. And they come in this beautiful gift box. I know it feels weird to say that's beautiful because I painted it. Oh, I'm a fancy hoity-toity artist. But this is what the paintbrushes look like. You get a nice large flat wash. You get a, well, it's set at number 12. When I had to give them information when I was designing it, you had to measure it and give things in millimeters. And that's more like a 16 in like American brush sizes, I guess. So it says a 12 on it, but I just wanted to mention that because it's a big brush. And then you've got a cat's tongue, and we've got a dagger. I'm just trying to twirl them around so they're facing the right size. We've got a dagger, and we've got a number 8 round, and we've got a liner brush. And that 1/2-inch cat's tongue is my favorite in the kit. It works so well. Now again, this is kind of a luxury item. Last I checked, it was $60 on sale from $80. So it is a pricier set, but it's really high quality, all animal-free, cruelty-free brushes, and they're very well made. So I've been enjoying using them for the past, I got my prototypes last winter, so I've been using them for quite a long time, and they're holding up great. So, so shameless plug over my brushes. Let's see. Let's go on to watercolor from there. Let's start off with what I think would be kind of a really fun novelty. Not really novelty. I have wanted this palette for so long, and I finally bit the bullet and bought it last summer. This is the Schmincke Whiskey Painters Horadam watercolor set. Now I've added some extra half pans to it, but it's such a cute palette. It's not cheap, although it costs less now than it did when I bought it. It's down to, last I checked, it was $80 on Amazon, which isn't cheap, but it's not. I think it retails for about $160 something. It's definitely a luxury product. So it's got a little ring on the back. It's got a little cap for water. It's got a flask built right into it for you to put water in. Oops, mine got a little juicy here. You hook the little cap, you fill it with water, and you hook it at the bottom of your palette, and then you can paint with it. And I need to do a little palette maintenance because I've got some melty paints there. But and that was one of the pans that came in it. But it's this is kind of for the artist that has it all. You want to spoil them. Probably something they're not going to buy themselves because it's expensive. But I really enjoy this, and that's the Whiskey Painters Schmincke palette. And actually, I don't know if it's got the trademark Whiskey Painters on there. I probably shouldn't say that, but the Metal Flask palette. Let's say that the Metal Flask Schmincke watercolor palette. Maybe keep it. Make sure you keep it flat like this because I guess the paints can get a little juicy. And then another kind of paint for this might not be. This is kind of a novel one. I would recommend this more for like illustrators than traditional watercolors, but it's the Shinhan SWC Tint Watercolors, a beautiful arrangement of pastel watercolors. So again, it's not the most versatile or useful palette. It's more the set for the artist that has everything. If you can get it at a good price, I got this for around $30 on Amazon. I'm not sure why it was so inexpensive. This is the Korean branded one. It may say PWC if it's the one branded for Europe or America. But they're a lot of fun. Their watercolors are really high quality, and you really can't go wrong, especially if you get it at a good deal. The next one I want to share, and I wasn't going to share this, but the price dropped again on it. So this, I paid $82, and it's gone back down to $82 from $132 on Amazon. The Shinhan PWC set of 32 tubes. I have a review on these. These are delightful watercolors, very transparent, very vibrant, very high quality, 15 ml tubes. You have so much paint here in this, it will last you years and years. So a great set for any watercolorist, especially somebody getting started, so they can start off with a high quality paint that's not like gonna break the bank too bad. I think it's a wonderful gift. Another thing you could do is actually buy a set like this, buy a bunch of palettes, fill the palettes if you have several artists that you want to give gifts to. So, you know, just something to consider. I thought that was such a great deal, and I know a lot of times you're buying presents for your kids, your grandkids. They've outgrown the budget or the student quality paints, but then the next jump up is so expensive. So it's nice to find something like that, I think. The next one I would want to recommend, and if these are still on sale, this is the Mission Gold 24 Pure Pigment set. So these are all single pigment colors. And I had purchased this set for, well, not this box, but a previous box for, I think it was like $82, and this was like 5 or 6 years ago. And then they changed up some of the colors, and then they came out with a larger set of pure pigment colors. So this set went down to $61, between $61 and $65. It's been jumping around. At that price, it's a steal. High quality paints, all single pigment. They mix beautifully. They are just delightful. I highly recommend them. And just same as in the ilk of the Shinhan PWC watercolors, I would say they're pretty equivalent. They're very similar, and I highly recommend them. Now on to some budget watercolors, because, you know, you might be looking for a stocking stuffer, or maybe something for that mid, I would say kind of mid-journey artists. Maybe they've outgrown the Crayola and the Prang and the, you know, the budget watercolors, but they're not quite ready for the professional watercolors yet. I've got a few recommendations. The first one would be these Novelty Palettes. I know they look kind of funny and weird, but the paint's actually pretty good. They will pop up on Amazon from all sorts of companies like Artsy, Meaden, Superior. Superior is a company that actually makes them. So they have these interesting like fold out or fan out palettes. It's all the same paint. They're just really quirky and fun, and the quality's good, and a lot of them will come with like 3 water brushes, so, you know, you don't even have to really, you have everything you need except for paper, and they're just really fun and quirky, and kind of for the artist that has everything, or, you know, they want to upgrade from budget or student watercolors. These are a lot of fun, and even for like an experienced artist to get something like that, it's such a quirky, cute gift that I think it's really fun. Some of these ones are really big, not the most practical for travel, but they're still fun. They're fun, and the quality's pretty decent. And then what I'd recommend if you've got a serious beginner artist, and I recommended this last year, probably the year before too. I love this this set. This is the Pretty Excellent Mi Liang watercolor set. This is the colors that you get. They have recently come out with, this is the 36 set, which is wonderful, and they've recently come out with a 48 set, which includes these colors plus 12 metallics, and it's in a bigger palette. Either way, I haven't tried their new set, but this one is just wonderful. I highly recommend this. It's compact. The new set they came out with, the colors are all in their own half pans, so that might be an advantage to you, or you might prefer the smaller size and cheaper price. But the price fluctuates on this, usually between $20 and $25. I've seen it as low as $16. It's well worth it at any of those price points. The quality is really good, and it's not gonna harm anybody that's trying to learn. Next up, I have kind of a novel recommendation, and these are the Arctic's acrylic marker sets. They do not need to be primed or pumped to use. They come in metallic, pastel, and regular colors, and I'd recommend the regular colors first. And let's see, this is they work good on light or dark. I'll just hold up my 2 swatches here. And this is what they look like. They're dual-ended. You've got a bullet tip on one end, a brush tip on the other. I'd recommend these for mixed media artists and for brush letterers. The tips are nice and flexible, and you don't need to prime them. They're ready to go once you get them. They're not waterproof though, so I do want to mention that. At least not this one. This one's not waterproof. This one will react with water, but the pastel ones are waterproof. But I like this on paper, stationery, that sort of thing. So for your mixed media artist or your brush letterers, stationery gurus, they will love those markers. So this is what the pastel box looks like. The pastel ones are only single-ended, and the metallic ones, which would be great for brush letterers, are double-ended. And the price varies depending on the size of the set. They're right around $20 to $30 per set. Next up, I want to recommend some colored pencils. We have, first two will be our budget ones, the Arctic colored pencils. They are a Prismacolor competitor. They have the same names as Prismacolor pencils, so if you follow Prismacolor tutorials, they'll be handy, and they're soft, blendable, not quite as opaque as Prismacolor, but they're pretty good. And they run around $20 to $30. And they're coming out with a 120 set. This is a 72 set, but by the time this video goes live, the 120 set may be out. So I just want to let you know in case you'd rather wait for the bigger set. This is how they're packaged. It's kind of neat. It's compact, and yeah, it's like little foam inserts to keep them from getting banged around in there. It's kind of cute. It's kind of novel. So there's that. The other one I want to recommend, and I think I recommended this last year, are the Brute Fooner Square pencils. You've got 120 colors. They are in a square barrel. They are beautifully soft. They don't roll. They're wonderful. My only downside to these is that they need a larger sharpener. So you need to have a large hole sharpener to sharpen these, or a larger hole electric sharpener, because they won't sharpen in your standard sharpeners. So just to kind of keep that in mind. And the next three sets of pencils I'm going to share with you also will need at least an 8mm pencil sharpener, so just kind of keep that in mind. And I recommend electric sharpeners for colored pencils because they are, in my opinion, much gentler and they don't tend to break my leads, especially the nice soft professional leads. So if you're a little bit more in a budget, but you want to get somebody a really nice set of colored pencils that are light fast and gorgeous to work with, I recommend the Derwent Drawing set of 24 or 12. I think the 24 set's around $40, and the lead is massive in these. This one is very well used, as you can see. I love this set of pencils. You've got a really thick lead. You've got a nice beefy barrel. The colors are opaque. They're gorgeous. I got my swatch here so you can see. Neutral palette, good for portraits, wildlife, all light fast colors so they won't fade. And that's, even if somebody has this already, I think they'd love to have a backup because they're, the pencils you're going to reach for a lot. The next one I'd recommend would be the Derwent Lightfast, and the 72 set in particular, because they've come up with a 100 set, which is crazy expensive, but the 72 set has been running around $150, which is like just over $2 a pencil, which is unreal. These sell for like $4.50 a pencil, so that's such a great value. So I would definitely recommend that if you're looking for a high-end pencil. These are all guaranteed not to fade for 100 years on the artwork in museum condition, so you really can't beat that for the price. But the next one would be these, the 76 Luminance pencils by Caran d'Ache. They're very soft, very blendable, gorgeous pencils, highly pigmented, just like the Derwent Lightfast. These are a little bit more, but they're cheaper than they have been. I've seen them around $180, and at that price, I think it's a great value. These are also light fast, they're not going to fade, and they're just gorgeous pencils to work with. So, you really can't go wrong with either. And these actually come in a really nice box with foam separating all of the pencils, and I think there's like three tiers in there. It's definitely a luxury gift. And then stocking stuffers. A pen I've been obsessed with lately is the Fudenosuke pen by Tombow. It's got a flexible tip. You can either get a hard tip or a soft tip. And I have the hard tip one here. And they also come in colors. So if somebody does like lettering, the colors might be a good idea, but if you're an inker, you like to do alcohol markers, they won't bleed with the alcohol markers or with watercolor. So I really like them, and I like the hard tip extra fine, but you could go with a fine or a soft tip or whatever you like. White Uniball Signo gel pen. Everyone uses those, I think, and they don't last forever, so it's always nice to have a backup. For the crafters in your life or stationery fans, I recommend a wax seal kit. So these are your wax seals. I've seen those for around $15 a set, and a set of seals. And you can get any theme. This is a Harry Potter theme actually, which is really fun, but you can get botanical, you can get pretty much anything. And the last category I want to share is pastels, and we'll do both luxury and budget. So for luxury, I would say the Sennelier Paris collection or any of the Sennelier half-stick pastel sets. They've been running really inexpensively, relatively, on Amazon. I picked up this set for $120 for 120 half sticks. It's about $200 on other art sites. But if you can get them for around $1 a stick, that's a steal. Sometimes it's higher, but I think that's a really great price. I don't have the pastels in here because I put them in my pastel drawers already. The next one would be the Soho Urban Artist Soft Pastels. These are a medium hardness, so you can do a full painting with these without harder pastels or softer pastels. The Senneliers are softer, so you would probably also need some hard pastels, so this is better for a beginner, and it's a cheaper product. I would probably go for the 90 set, which runs around $42. And then my last, and this could be for crafters or for artists, is Pan Pastel. You can get specialty sets that are either like metallic or pearls, and they cost, oh, I'm not sure how much they are. I think they might be around $30. So they are a little pricey, but there's a lot of pigment in these things. The palettes are extra. They come in kind of a stack of little pots of pastel. They are so much fun, and card makers are really loving these. So if you're a card maker or you have a card maker on your list, you might want to get the metallics or pearls just because it's something kind of fancy, and it doesn't come, those colors don't come in the regular sets, so it'd be something they probably don't have. And for pastel artists, I would recommend the Pan Pastels, the traditional colors. This is the painting set. They have a set of all 80 regular colors that come with these palettes. It's pricey. It's about $350. That would be like, you know, big, you know, crazy luxury gift. But these sets here of 20 colors can be had for about $75. They don't come in this big palette. It's up to you if you want to buy the palette. I think it's like $11 or something. But these are just wonderful. They're like the stick pastels, but they're very soft. The little goes a long way, and they're low dust. They don't tend to, and they don't crumble because you apply them with a little sponge tool, so you're not getting your hands all gross. And it's really great for folks that like pastel, but they don't like to get their hands all yucky. But that's what I chose for this year's art gift guide. I hope you found it helpful. These are all tried and true products that I've been using for, most of them I've been using for years, not all of them, but they're all things that I've used, so I can recommend them without hesitation. If you have any recommendations you'd like to share with me, go ahead in the comments below, because I'm sure that will help everybody else here that's watching this video. Check out the comments to see what other people are recommending too, because you know, that's how you get the most current information. If someone sees a good deal on something that's awesome and they want to share it, then yeah, that's great. I hope you have a wonderful holiday season. Get that shopping done early so you don't have to stress. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time, happy crafting. Bye.